Greetings, everybody, and welcome to our first edition of the RetroYuuki's Gaming Commentaries podcast, where we talk about video games, news, and other materials regarding the landscape of video gaming. Today, we get started with a very recent story about Call of Duty. If you guys are interested, make sure you guys leave the like, subscribe, and enable your notifications, and get ready for a gaming channel very soon in the future. But first, let's get into today's story. So today we'll be talking about what has been happening with Call of Duty in the recent times, including the news of a serious exploit found in Call of Duty Black Ops Cold War. The game has been out for a while, but it's the first few days that in the last few weeks we have been learning about this material, and we have to go over this as it is a very, very serious topic. So, there is a serious exploit found in Call of Duty Black Ops Cold War that allows players to steal IP addresses from other players. For those of you who are not aware, an IP address is like a digital address for your computer or for your device based on your location. It has a few numbers in there, and those numbers represent an address. It's just like your location in IRL, where you have a city name and all that good stuff. Well, an IP address is the same thing, but for a digital device. Okay? It's the one with the three numbers followed by a dot and a number, then dot, then number, then dot, then number. That kind of thing. So let's go ahead and read this article by future game releases. And we're gonna also take a look at some other sources of material, including a tweet by Charlie Intel. So here's this article. In the digital realm of online gaming, security is a constant concern. This worry has been heightened recently by the fans of FPS first-person shooter Call of Duty Black Ops Cold War, as an alarming exploit has been reported. According to player reports and confirmed by famous YouTuber Exclusive Ace, which I do watch, a newly discovered vulnerability allows nefarious individuals to gain access to a player's IP address, potentially crash their game, and inflict other harmful effects. So I'm going to link you to the video of Mr. Exclusive Ace if you guys want to watch it, along with this article. Very more detailed than I will be. Okay? This exploit has caused a wave of worry amongst the gaming community, as it exposes players to security in a way that goes beyond game-related implications. Possession of a person's IP address enables a perpetrator to impersonate or to use the user, steal sensitive information, and potentially even ascertain their exact location. So like I just mentioned at the top, an IP address is like the digital version of an address, of a physical address. So a computer has its own IP address, and your location has an IP address, and your server has an IP address. So you have to be very careful with that. So, and then they go also on the Reddit. So CW Cold War and WZ2 players are now leaking out IPs and crashing our games. We also have this one. Game keeps crashing or saying I have no internet, but I literally do. And this Redditor says, I do not know how to fix it, or IDK. I've lowered graphics settings, updated Windows, updated my NVIDIA drivers, set the game to high priority in graphics settings. How can I make this thing stop? I have a 900 upload and 500 download speed. Why is this happening? It has nothing to do with internet testing. It has something to do with what's going on. And then the article continues. In a startling revelation, Exclusive Ace disclosed the issue in a recent video, stating that the exploit appears limited to Black Ops Cold War and has not been observed in other Call of Duty games, such as Modern Warfare 2's the new one actually, and Warzone 2. This is a troubling predicament for gamers who had eagerly embraced the release from the franchise in 2020, only to find themselves vulnerable to this egregious security breach. And Charlie Intel, who's another famous guy on Twitter about Call of Duty, also stated about this. Activision and its subsidiary Treyarch have not officially acknowledged the problem, provided a timeline for when the community might see a fix. And a quote, there is currently an exploit in Call of Duty Black Ops Cold War on all platforms where a person can gain access to a person's IP, crash their game, or potentially cause other issues. No indication so far of it happening in Modern Warfare 2 or the Modern Warzone 2. Activision had not addressed this, nor they something. And we're going to go ahead and go to Twitter now. We're going to take a look at Charlie Intel, because there is more where this comes into play. So as you can see here, we're going to take a look at a tweet here. Here we go. There's more. Here's a tweet from Charlie Intel about June 5th, 2023, today. At 7:58 in the morning, he says, as a continued PSA, do not play Black Ops Cold War on any platform, as hackers can still get your IP address and crash the game. This is happening in any mode and on all platforms. Activision still had not said anything about this. And this is very important for them in a moment, because we'll be talking about communication. Charlie Intel also continues by saying Activision's silence on this is a bit alarming, as the game is still being sold on all stores for $60. It's supposed to be $60. I think he typoed that, but still, you're talking about a game at full price for Call of Duty, even if it's an old game. So to take a look at that, we have to go back to Call of Duty on the Steam store, and we're going to be taking a look specifically at Call of Duty Black Ops 1. Cold War, excuse me. If we take a look at Cold War, it is still at $60 game, ladies and gentlemen. And as you can see, while the reviews are high, the player numbers have been dropping. Well, not dropping in a bad way. It's more like not a lot of people play it, but a lot of people call this the last good Call of Duty. And you can see how that in the reviews, mostly positive. But you're talking about only 3,000 players at least. This game was released on Steam on the March 8, 2023. So a few months ago on Steam, but this game has been out for a while on the other markets, like the PlayStation Store or anything like that. Now, when it comes to like other stuff we need to talk about, we also need to talk about some of the other things that Call of Duty has been going through. And there is another thing we need to also mention about security. And that has to deal with two now unfortunately shut down projects that a lot of people have been talking about recently, and that is X Labs and SM2. So what do you mean by S Labs, X Labs, and SM2? Well, X Labs and SM2 in general. SM2 was a mod. SM2 was a mod that was supposed to be for Call of Duty Modern Warfare 2 that allows players to go back in the time where Call of Duty was better in a way. Unfortunately, they got hit by a cease and desist letter, and we're gonna take a look at. That is from AFK Gaming. It's basically a rundown of the SM2. So basically, SM2 was supposed to be like a callback to the good old days of Call of Duty, like with the kill streaks and all that good stuff, anti-cheaters, no cheating allowed, high security. Okay, so they were supposed to have 100 weapons plus more, 24 perks including the returning abilities, both original and returning, by the way. Modern Warfare 3 strike chain point streak system with additional streaks. They were supposed to have like a party system. They were supposed to have a currency system, including wager matches, which I never got to play with. They even had a native music player, a gameplay ping system, and a native controller support, including the aim assist feature. But because of the cease and desist, they cannot do it anymore. For those of you who are not aware, a cease and desist letter is basically take down the game, or you will be facing legal trouble. So here on May 17, 2023, the team of SM2 got the cease and desist letter, and the tweet reads, "Today, a team member received the cease and desist letter on behalf of Activision Publishing in relation to SM2." Right there, SM2 project. We are complying with this order and shutting down our operations permanently. Thank you for all your support in the last 2 years. And as you can see, they also did it on the Discord as well. The Discord here, after a lot of internal discussions, we have decided to move from IW4, the original Modern Warfare 2 engine, to H1, which is a Modern Warfare remastered engine, mainly for technical reasons. Now, a lot of people believe that this is the reason why here too, because of what has been happening with the thing. So take a look at this. This was supposed to be MW2. I mean SW2, SM2. Excuse me. Okay, and they even had hard hat and shipment. Some of the classic maps of hard hat and shipment and gateway were supposed to be on the board for this particular mod. But that's not the only thing that we need to talk about. That's not the only mod that we need to talk about, because there's another one that just recently got another cease and desist, and that, my friends, is called XLab. So I'm going to go ahead and link you to that article too. So XLabs is also shut down because of the exact same thing. So XLab, according to Shack News, was also shut down. Same reason, cease and desist letter. So they have been working on this project for a while, and it's very sad to see. But here there's a little bit of a worry here. I'm going to also link you to this article. But here's the deal. X Labs was supposed to be like with security in mind. Okay? Like they were supposed to be having a secured system, secured server, all that good stuff that players have been asking for. But with X Labs and SM2 shut down, they don't have that anymore because they've been shut down, and the security for the recent Black Ops Cold War is sucky. They don't have security anymore, as we've been discussing for this podcast episode. As in, they don't have any. With the hackers running around, and you have your IP address potentially at risk, that's why a lot of people are starting to move on from Cold War or not play Cold War for a while. But here's the deal about something else that we need to talk about. A lot of people are still not, even if you move away from Cold War because of security risk. Look at what's been happening with recent Call of Duty news. A lot of people have left Call of Duty Cold War, I mean the new one, Call of Duty Modern Warfare 2, because of bad things. Let's take a look at the Steam numbers brought to you by Steam Charts. And as you can see here, for Call of Duty Black Ops Cold War, now I'm going to refresh this because this was a few hours ago. There are 644 players playing 2 minutes ago, with 24-hour peak of 807 and all-time peak at 3,298. Now keep in mind, this is only for Steam numbers. Now keep in mind, this only released in March for Steam. So this is a little bit on the wonky side. Okay? But as you can see here, in the last 30 days, the average players is 1,421.7 for a loss of minus 42.1 from May, and a gain of minus 3.53% from May. So obviously it's going to go up and down because it's new here on Steam. But I played Cold War by buying it somewhere else on the Battle.net. Okay, so the numbers here are only for Steam and nothing else. But if we take a look at Call of Duty Modern Warfare 2, and I want to talk about this one particularly because the numbers over there are not good either. Although Black Ops Cold War on Steam has been just new. If we take a look at the numbers for Call of Duty Modern Warfare 2, the new one, and Warzone 2 combined for the last few things, you may have noticed that 5 minutes ago 55,573 were playing, which is not bad per se, and I say per se because there's a little bit of a hiccup here. 24-hour peak is for 69,029, but the all-time peak is 488,897. There is no way you're gonna get back there. Okay? No way. But we have to look at this. Why are people leaving Call of Duty Modern Warfare 2? Well, because like we aforementioned about the mods like XLabs and SM2, a lot of people want an alternative to the main Call of Duty because of their shady microtransactions. For example, they now have in DMZ mode, you can buy this particular skin pack, and then as an advantage, you get a free UAV, for example. And you start with that UAV no matter what at the start of the game, even if you die in DMZ. Okay? Last 30 days is 63,525 people playing for a loss of 469.9 people, or a loss of 0.73%. Now that doesn't sound like much, but keep in mind, all the way back in December, as you can see here, they've been losing players after player after player after player. So from December 2022 of last year, they went from 178,353 people down all the way to 63,525, and it's still gonna drop. Okay, so that's what's been going on with COD, and even in normal COD, they have security risk. They're trying to push players to the real COD, not to the mods, not to anything else. Now, let's talk about some one other topic for today's podcast. Why are a lot of people besides the mods and the cool mods? What else? Why else are people pissed off? It's because of the microtransactions and the communication. The communication with Call of Duty is normally a blog, which if you go to their blog right now, if you go to their blog, the newest thing that's coming out is Season 4. And that's coming out soon, ladies and gentlemen. And as you can see here, they're getting mobile game, and the recent news for Call of Duty has nothing to do with patch notes or anything else. I mean, there is Season 3 Reloaded patch notes on the right here, but the recent article is this. So basically, they're trying to promote two streamers in particular, TimTheTatMan and Nickmurks. Now, credit to Mr. Tatman over here. I do watch Tatman. I do. But obviously, I'm new to Mr. Tatman. But he plays a lot of Call of Duty back in the day. He still plays Call of Duty, but he's been moving on and off Call of Duty for a while. He's played Counter Strike. He's played Fall Guy. He played. He tried playing some other games. Sometimes he'll play Call of Duty once in a while. But and then we have Nickmurks, who also does the same thing too. So this is the new thing that came out May 30th. Now I'm not gonna cap the actual look of Tatman in the game is actually pretty cool. I'm not gonna cap about that. The problem with this though is what we've been talking about. How is this related to today's topic of security risk? Because are they focusing on the changes? No, they're not. How can I tell? Because they're promoting more of microtransactions like this, and they're promoting more of their play to win mechanic. DMZ, for example, they do not care about the security risk anymore. Even if we read the patch notes, let's actually read the patch notes for this one. We're going to go skip all the way to bug fixes here. But we're not going to focus on the features and like what's going to happen in the new thing. We're trying to see if they ever would mention the word security. And as you can see here, they don't. Most wanted contract, that's not security. Buy station or redeploy drone, that's not security. DMZ, no security. They have different weapons and stuff. UI, oh yeah, the UI, that's sucky. They're not fixing anything on security, folks. Not even one thing of security is mentioned in this blog. Okay? And they're also focusing on the new ranked game, the ranked play for COD, Warzone that just came out recently for Reloaded. And I believe for season 4 is starting in a few days. If I'm incorrect about that, I apologize. But I do know season 4 is on the way. They're supposed to do something. But security ain't one of them. Okay? Oh, we have to also discuss one more thing about Call of Duty recently. Not only is their security sucky, their UI sucks. What do you mean by UI? So UI is their user interface. And I'm going to tell you, it looks like Hulu. What do I mean by that? If you ever played Hulu, I mean not played the Hulu, but if you ever watched the Hulu TV app, you're going to notice something very similar. You're going to notice that the UI for Call of Duty Modern Warfare 2 looks like as if you're watching Hulu. And in this case, we are not kidding. Have a look at... And they basically blatantly copied it. Let's see. If you look at the comparison, look at this. Look at on the top here, we have Hulu, which is the platform for watching TV. And on the bottom, we have the Call of Duty Modern Warfare 2 UI. Look at how close it is to copying Hulu. Other than the fact that one is a game, one is a movie thingy. You see how it looks similar? It looks very similar to Hulu. And that's why a lot of people also got pissed off because of the UI. But take a look at somebody like this. Now keep in mind, this is not in the game. Somebody actually recreated this from scratch, maybe using a graphics program. But look at how clean this puppy is. You have the quick play, you have the third person mosh pit, you have the prisoner rescue, ground war, invasion, private match. This is the good UI design right here. Very good UI. Very good UI. Here's another one. Now keep in mind, this is also not in the game. But look at this UI. This is way better than some Hulu lookoff. Look at this UI. Somebody made this by themselves. Now keep in mind, you're never gonna see this in the actual game because somebody actually made this in the graphics program like Photoshop. Okay? But look at a lot of people can do better UI than Call of Duty Modern Warfare 2. It's ridiculous. Okay? Remember this? Remember this, ladies and gentlemen? This looks like a UI you would see from regular old school Modern Warfare. Old school Modern Warfare. Look at this. You have the menu on the left, you have the loadout, you have all the good stuff. Then you have a voting system which does not exist anymore. And on the right, you have the teams. This, my friend, is a very good UI. Okay? So that's why a lot of people are leaving you Call of Duty. And back to the topic of hand though. Security in Call of Duty has been rough. And all you have to do is take a look at today's articles. I hope you guys enjoyed this first episode of our podcast, talking about video games and more. I am thinking of working on a gaming channel specifically for gaming and podcasts like this. If you guys are interested, hit that like, hit that share, hit that subscribe button, and I'll be working on that channel today. Okay? And if you guys want to watch me stream on that particular channel, some gaming stuff, be on the lookout for a schedule because we're going to get started with that channel very soon. Until then, my fellow gamers, this is RetroYuuki saying live life to the fullest, and hopefully you learned something.